So Julie, you're talking at IPS about the digital Davids and the Goliaths of the industry, and how they should dance together. Let's take us through your thinking on how you get to that scenario.
Well, I think there's really three visions of the future that technology firms will take over every industry. And the second vision of the future is that the disruptive Davids will create new large financial services industry. But for the overwhelming 90% of the industry, the opportunity which is open for them is to partner with young, high growth digital Davids that are bringing the kind of top line revenue generation to insurance, banks, all sorts of financial services industries. And it's really a function of how well the Goliaths do they have a systematic and consistent way of sourcing these digital Davids and then engaging with them to harness that digital revenue, which can be mobile money revenue. It can be revenue driven by analytics, by understanding the data on their consumers.
So, but the other thing about that is in your thinking, this is not a disruptive phase. This is actually the end of a natural cycle, or the beginning of the end of a natural cycle.
That's right. A lot of our investment philosophy is based on the work of Carlotta Perez, who's a historical economist, and she basically shows that the same thing happens every 70 years. There's really nothing new under the sun. We just move forward with technology, but basically there's a moment of disruptive technology, but over the life of that 70 years, a new common sense emerges as the Goliaths embrace those derivative new technologies, and that if that happens early in the cycle, prosperity ensues for the economy. If that happens really late because the economy and the society don't get what needs to happen, frankly, just a couple of people get very wealthy. And so there's an overall benefit to society and business people really helping the rest of society understand that this is what happens every 70 years.
So it's a kind of normalization phase that we're going through. And as I understand it, what you're seeing is this emergence of partnerships between the large and the small for mutual benefit, really. That's
right. And those can be, even though it may sound very cookie cutter, it's not cookie cutter at all, because each of these represent an enormous negotiation and a projection of future revenue. And the power between David and Goliath will be different in every discussion. But Goliath doesn't need to acquire David. We're not talking about mergers. We're talking about the highway, the distribution out to millions of customers, reach, distribution, audience, and the ability to scale. But what the David understands is they understand how business models are going to work in the digital age. And that's frankly horizontal. That's across financial services, transportation, media, retail, and so forth. So technology is no longer an industry. It's a layer which is driving growth in all businesses.
So it's not about one particular Goliath having a secret sauce. It's about having the same functionality as everybody else. So and the example you tend to give is monetize.
That's right.
Which everybody uses in this. Well, nearly everybody, right?
That's right. Monetize, started out more than 10 years ago as an understanding of how the mobile money world would emerge. And Alistair Lukes, who I believe walks on water because he's so visionary, basically helped banks to get a cut of revenues, which otherwise would have gone to the Western Unions, to the PayPals of the world.
So it's not just about share of wallet, it's about the creation of new revenue streams.
That's right, and it's the participation in this application economy, right? If any of you have an iPhone or you're familiar with the app stores on Android and iOS and so forth, all of those applications are creating revenue for small developers. They're creating revenue for small businesses. And a bank, an insurance company needs to participate in that kind of marketplace of ideas and applications. Strange as it may sound, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google, their business models are the ones that we need to imitate as large Goliaths.
So your message to the incumbent banks really then is learn to dance and choose your partners now.
That's right. Learn to dance, and you may have to dance faster than you think you may have to dance. And you may feel very, very busy with the regulation and the taxation and all of the infrastructure, but you don't actually choose the time frame. You may think that you have a couple more quarters or that you can deal with something in the fullness of time, but the people which are actually determining the speed that things happen in the market are actually the entrepreneurs.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Julie.
Thank you.